Welcome, everybody, to the 10 Count Podcast, brought to you by Buzzer and brought to you by the Turnbuckle Discord. I am Ty P, and across the screen from me is J Star. And Sussy6 says, it's great to be alive on a Wednesday night. And that's leading in to the first topic of the night, because it is, and new, CM Punk wins title. I know we were talking about this. We were scared on the quick count, and rightfully so, because look what happened. Sussy6 said, I was wrong. Triple H is a genius. I got worked, brother. I am torn, and I texted you this, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
I love that CM Punk is the WWE champion again. It is a full circle moment. You know, he blew the kiss out, ran through the crowd, just like Money in the Bank 2011, I think it was. And it was wild. And Sami and CM Punk put on one hell of a match. But I'm also bummed because Sami deserved a bit more than 9 days. And watching him have a meltdown and crash out on Raw, after Raw, I felt bad for him. He, breaking down on the floor backstage after he dropped a few F-bombs. But Sami's got to win the title back at some point. I think we're going to see, and I hope we're going to see at this point, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens kind of take over and take what's theirs with the world title and the WWE Championship. But Justin, we have a new WWE champion heading into SummerSlam. A title opportunity fell out of the sky, as CM Punk said, as Sussy6 said. What are we feeling?
Now that I've been given 2 days to really think about the outlook of all of this, I'm okay with it. Monday night, and I still believe, like you just said, Sami Zayn's run should have been longer than 9 days. I get that, hey, he is now a WWE Undisputed Champion. No one can take that away from him. That is on his resume forever. That is a fantastic thing to have on your resume. Not many people do have that. I get it now, though. After we watched him crash out, they posted that video for a reason. After seeing him crash out, this is only going to build up Sami Zayn's character. But here's my caveat. They have to use him. They have to, where there's smoke, there's fire. I guarantee you he's going to be there Friday night, and he's going to say, I'm the SmackDown champion. I'm not supposed to defend it on Raw. And then he can be like, I was preparing for Cody. Or no one else defends their title 9 days after winning it. Like, he's going to complain like a Karen on steroids. And that's what he has to do, because he's technically right. And I agree with him. And then, like Sussy said, a title opportunity fell out of the sky, right? CM Punk is going to be there Friday night. He's going to say, I was lounging back with my wife watching Monday Night Raw, and then I got a call. And I said, I can be there in 25 minutes. That's why CM Punk's chest was as bushy as I've ever seen it. My God, the guy didn't shave his chest for probably since the last time he was on Monday Night Raw. And I'm okay with it. I liked that we thought we were going to see Cody win the title, and then Punk would come out to confront him. I like the route that we went. I feel bad for Sami Zayn, but let's just see where it goes.
Yeah, and they went the perfect route, because Cody should not have won the championship. I'm glad they went the route they did as well. And honestly, I think this would set up Sami for a perfect Money in the Bank. I think he'd be a great Money in the Bank winner. He can be, whoever's champion, CM Punk or Cody Rhodes, he can be that looming factor that says, I am coming back for my championship that I was wrongfully made defend 9 days after I won it. And we saw the writing on the wall. He was treating that championship like a child. Of course he was going to lose this. This was writing on the wall. And Sussy6 said last year, Punk said, don't ask me about Sami Zayn. He's not on my level. And he proved it again on Monday. He did. He outlasted Sami Zayn. He proved that he can take GTS after GTS, because he didn't take a haluva kick. He took GTS after GTS, which is crazy. They were trading finishers left and right. But I think they're trying to prove right now that CM Punk is building on the stamina that he did not have at WrestleMania to beat Roman Reigns. And maybe we get at Crown Jewel Roman Reigns versus CM Punk match 2 and have CM Punk win, because then you can see that CM Punk can outlast Roman Reigns. He did the work to show that he is the dominant champion, which I would love. I want that so bad. Sussy6 said it was always going to come crashing down and hurt inside. Yeah, 100%. And it still hurts. I still feel bad for Sami Zayn. But if they give him Money in the Bank, if they give him Royal Rumble, if they give him the championship back within the next year, I think that's a fair trade-off. But the one thing I do want to talk about is the masses and masses of people saying that CM Punk has become what he hated. And that is absolutely false. The man has been full-time since he has come back, besides the injuries. I think he's allowed to take a little vacation before he comes back and wins the championship. The last time we saw him, he was walking into WrestleMania champion and put on a 9-star classic, as Sussy would say, and passed out in the ring and lost the title. So I think he deserved a rematch for the championship that he was a champion at WrestleMania, and I think he deserved any kind of rematch, whether it was for the world title or the WWE Championship. And as Sussy6 said, CM Punk is the guy.
Isn't it funny how it's like Punk knew when Punk got into the ring, he started doing the Hulk Hogan ear thing as if he obviously he's in Chicago, but he knew exactly what the people were going to say, right?
Yeah.
Punk is that good, where Punk was getting ahead of his own troll game because he knew people were going to call him CM Hogan, and all of a sudden all the AI photos of Cody as Bret the Hitman Hart, and then all of a sudden there's Punk as Hogan at WrestleMania, telling him to go and have it. It was a great match. I'm glad that they both showed out. It was predictable, as we both had guessed. I thought it was, you mentioned him earlier, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens out of nowhere puts out a picture on X of the Boogeyman with a clock. Obviously, speculation is going to run wild. Is this him counting down until he can get back in the ring? Are we getting closer to Kevin Owens getting back in the ring? Because if he is, Kevin Owens last had a gripe with Cody Rhodes. Now, I know this is now going to be a gripe with Punk, but could we imagine a world where KO comes back heel, Sammy's already a heel, and how these two are just on a war path together? These two are just going for tag titles. They're going for champions here and there, and they just take out everyone together. We were talking about in a fictional makeup world, it'd be awesome to see them, KO come back, challenge Sammy for the title. But what if they teamed up again?
They could. It's a possibility. And I don't think that's far from what we might see, because we saw them embrace. We saw Kevin Owens surprise Sammy when he was champion. I think they had to slide him in there as fast as possible to take those pictures with Sammy, because they knew how short that title reign was going to be. But they both feel wronged, especially by Cody Rhodes. They both said that Cody has, he was the main benefactor of the relationships. They helped him win the title. They helped him finish the story. But what has Cody done since then? He has kept that championship hostage. He doesn't want to let go of it. And sure, did he give Kevin Owens a shot? But it was at the stake of eventually him getting beat up by Kevin Owens. And look what Randy Orton, right? Randy Orton didn't get a shot for that title until he turned on Cody Rhodes. And Sami Zayn, same thing. He didn't get an opportunity until he turned on Cody Rhodes. So it's like a theme. And as much as I would love a Homelander Cody Rhodes, I think we're getting further and further from that as his friends are all turning heel and he is staying face. So I think the problem with me with a Cody Rhodes going heel is that all the people that he'd be a great heel against are heel. So I think we are at this time getting a little further from a heel Cody Rhodes, but maybe next year I think we can see that happen.
Let me ask you a question now. We have a new champion. CM Punk is the new WWE Undisputed Champion. We pretty much know what the SummerSlam match is going to be, right?
Yeah,
Punk,
it's Cody versus
Cody.
Punk.
How do we get there, though?
It's
because
easy.
Well, hold on. Obviously, Cody got attacked, right? Cody got attacked. He had to go to the hospital, wasn't cleared. He can come back and say, that was my title opportunity. You took it. Punk will be like, well, the title opportunity fell from the sky. But what about Sami? I know rematch clauses out of nowhere just disappeared. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But Sami's going to want a rematch. Sami should not have defended that title on Raw. He's the SmackDown champion. So, I mean, Sami has a gripe. Gunther, is going to be around. I mean, Jey Uso, yeah, sure, he lost to Oba, but Oba's foregoing his King of the Ring championship match to go fight Brock. What about him? So I just want to know, like, how do they get? Are they going to have a number one contenders match on SmackDown, and we're going to see Cody win again, or is Cody just going to do what Cody does, and Cody's going to demand that match, and he's going to get it?
You're missing the most important fact of what happened between Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is still the number one contender for the WWE Undisputed Championship. He won the match against Jey to be the number one contender. He's not the number one contender. He got attacked, removed from the situation. They said, you're still having a title match because we promised Chicago, right? They didn't say Cody's the number one contender, so we have to wait. They said, we promised Chicago a title match. They're getting one. Cody's still in the situation. He is the number one contender, and that's what they're going to say to lead into SummerSlam. I can guarantee it.
You just cut out a little bit. I'm sorry, but what about Sami then? Sami has a gripe. Sami Zayn has a gripe, and I hope that he goes full nuclear bomb on Friday night, because rightfully so, he should.
So part of me thinks, which is going to be real messed up, but it adds to his character. I could see if Nick Aldis is back, because he was making some moves, right? Maybe they want to bring him back in the fold as GM on SmackDown. I could see Nick Aldis again saying, sorry, Sami, we do not have room for you. And that is going to set him into a mental case. He will explode if that is said to him. And I think that's what we're kind of going to see. And that's where I think a Kevin Owens might be great to come back. Maybe they do interfere at SummerSlam at some capacity at the end of it or something. Maybe Sami and Kevin just beat the crap out of both of them after the match, even depending on how it ends, just because they're angry and they want championships. And they, Sami's tasted gold. Like you said, he is a Grand Slam champion. He had a hell of a promo on SmackDown saying that will never get taken away from us. And I think at that point, we should have also known that this was going to be a short title reign, because he had to make sure that people knew that you can't take away the title of WWE champion and title of Grand Slam champion. But real quick, I want to hit a few of Stusty's comments. We said he had a 13.5-star classic. Of course, CM Punk did. He is the best in the world and now the WWE Undisputed Champion. One aspect that should be discussed is whether Punk defends his title in the main event of SummerSlam, because that can determine a lot. And I think there is a case for it. And Justin, I think you said it on Sunday or last week that Obafemi and Brock Lesnar can open up the show. And if they want to bring eyes to SummerSlam, especially in that free hour, bro, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell, perfect way to get eyes on that product. And then people be like, wow, if this is the show, I got to tune in. And as I mentioned, they're treating this as WrestleMania. We're getting potentially CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. We have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. We have Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, and Hell in a Cell. We have Io Sky, Liv Morgan. Like, we are getting top tier matches for SummerSlam, and what better way to captivate an audience and bring in an audience than make Brock Lesnar and Obafemi free?
Yeah, they're hell-bent on making SummerSlam better than WrestleMania now at this point. You were so spot on with that when you first said that weeks ago. You couldn't even the card that they're building is a WrestleMania-esque card, and there was a lot of negative fallback from last WrestleMania. Obviously, the ads. We'll see what happens when SummerSlam gets there, but my God, they are hell driven on trying to make SummerSlam better than WrestleMania. And listen, with Brock Lesnar, I think you can go back probably a month and a half ago. Brock Lesnar either opens up a show and gets on the first flight out of there so he can go back to hunting boar, or he main events. I don't think he's main eventing anymore. So that just goes to, I don't think he's going to be a co-main event. I don't think that really exists anymore. Honestly, I think it just, when you have two ginormous matches back to back, I think it gets tiresome on the crowd. So, I mean, free hour, ESPN, like you just said, they already did it, right? They already did it at WrestleMania. Do it again, running it back, but Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
I would love it.
And then Sussy6 said Punk vs. Cody has to main event one of the nights. But if you do a triple threat with Sami in it, it doesn't have to be the main event. I don't think they would go and add Sami in this match. I think, if anything, on Friday or a future Friday, they're going to have Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn for the number one contendership. I think if you have Sami complaining, and like I said, Cody is the number one contender in my eyes, and I think that's the route they will go as well. Either Cody Rhodes gets the match and that's it. But if Sami doesn't stay quiet and they want to make that into storyline, they can have Cody versus Sami for the number one contendership. And then obviously, I mean, I'm not going to say obviously because WWE is kind of doing a little bit of unpredictability. Nice. I like that. I had a little rant about that last week. I'm proud of them. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk.
Now, let me ask you another question. I've brought it up that until recently, Cody obviously just won clean in his last match against Jey Uso on SmackDown. But prior to that, he was winning with referee distractions. He was winning with interference left and right, whatever was going on. If that match with Sami does happen, is there going to be interference? Because then it could just build Sami's character even more.
Yeah.
And then we're also seeing Cody just take advantage of every situation that he's given. Like, I don't know if that match does happen. I don't think it's going to be clean. And if it is, then that's a shame, because you have to continue to build up on both things where Cody takes advantage of every situation he's given, regardless if it's clean or not. And then Sami just constantly thinking he's getting screwed.
Yeah. And then Sussy6 said Sami can get his rematch at Saturday main event. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility too. That would be a fun match to watch, especially because they haven't really been putting world title matches on Saturday night's main event. So that would be a great match to have if they were to go that route. It's just, again, very predictable about how they would go forward with that, because CM Punk isn't losing that match. But it could be built, in one night. It's easy, right? That's an easy way to build a Saturday night main event. So definitely not far from the realm of possibility in my eyes.
And if that's the case, then that would be 2 Saturday night main events in a row that I've gone to where I've seen the world title be defended. Because awesome. I saw Cody versus KO with the Winged Eagle at UBS, and then this would be at Madison Square Garden. So that'd be pretty cool. I'm all about it.
Yeah. So next up, we have Maxxine Dupri joins the Vision, and on Sunday we spoke a little bit about things on Raw that they shouldn't and you should not do. Now, it's the way they did it that I agree with now. I think it's dumb that you gave the Street Profits the championship, who deserve it. They are a great tag team. And like I said, we want to build up tag team wrestling. I was getting my hopes up. I shouldn't have. I should have seen this a mile away, and I kind of did. That's why I was ranting a little bit on Sunday that said, if you're going to prop the division up, keep it up. And they did not. So the Vision is back with the tag titles. But an epic moment. Maxxine Dupri, all black, sliding in the ring, low blows Angelo Dawkins, chef's kiss. I mean, and even afterwards, Paul Heyman's like, at least someone did something tonight. And Austin Theory's like, yeah. She's like, and he's like, no, her. And like, that's like, I'm glad they have that factor in the Vision now. It's been teased for so long. You can see that Maxxine was afraid to lose Austin Theory, and she did what she needed to do. It looks like Monday night next week, they're going to have a falling out between Alpha Academy and Maxxine Dupri. Maybe Chad Gable can then go back in the fold with his friends, because the person who said no is now with the Vision. But they have the titles back on Braun Breaker and Austin Theory. Again, Logan Paul is out there, braced up and everything. 2 sets of brass knuckles this time. The next time we might see him, he might have 3, 4, 5, 7 brass knuckles on his arm. Yeah, he's just ready with brass knuckles to hand out to the crowd too. Maybe it's insane, but it just shows. Like I was afraid that the Vision was going to start to fall apart, and if that was the case, I thought that losing the titles would have been a great way to do that. But it looks like the Vision, they are resilient. maybe they're as resilient as the Judgment Day. We will see. What did you think, Justin?
Well, we kind of knew that this was going to go one of two ways. It went the way that we didn't think it was going to go. If the Vision lost Monday night, there was no recovery. Yeah. We thought that Braun Breaker was turning on Austin Theory. Austin Theory was kicked out, right? Or they went the latter, where they win the titles back. They start building up a little bit more momentum. Maybe they know that Bronson Reed is not too far away from returning. It's been months since he had his injury. That's only going to make them bigger. That's only going to make them stronger. So they went the way that I didn't expect them to. I'm happy that they went this way. Unfortunately, at the cost of the Street Profits. I don't even know how long was their title reign.
A week.
That was a quick reign too, right?
7 days.
Oh yeah, it was 7. Yeah. So what's going on right now? I don't know what's going on.
We had 2 title changes on Raw. Both less than 14 days old.
Listen, I don't know. It was necessary if they're trying to keep the Vision alive.
Yeah.
It was 1000% necessary for those titles to go back on the Vision if they were to survive as a faction. And now we can continue building. Now we don't think that they're dead. Now they're going to continue building. Like I said, Bronson Reed might be in the fold. Who knows? Stussy on YouTube says the most devastating move in pro wrestling, the low blow. Maxxine Dupri got up there. I felt that for Angela Dawkins, man. She really made sure that did not look like it was like fake or anything, because she went diving, and my God, did she low blow him. So I felt for that.
Yeah, I'm glad though, because how many times has she been criticized in the past for like not knowing wrestling well, and she's improved so much. And I'm glitching a lot. I don't know, Justin, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're good though.
Okay. But I'm glad, because you don't make it fake. Make sure people feel it like you did, Justin. Make sure people feel that low blow at home in the audience. And she freaking put all her effort into that, which was awesome. Slushy6 said, I guess Pat McAfee did bring back the Attitude Era with these quick title changes. Yeah, and I've spoke about this in the past too, about the title changes. I've wanted quick title changes. I don't want people holding the title for 6 months to a year. And it's been refreshing, dude. And it makes it unpredictable. And it's not like, okay, this guy won the title. He's obviously going to win the first defense. And we don't have that anymore. And I think there's also a possibility where Cody could beat Punk at SummerSlam and then face Roman Reigns for their third match at Crown Jewel. I think there's a lot of possibility to happen from their main event. To me, that match isn't just set in stone for a CM Punk victory. I think that could go either way.
So you also brought up just previously, you brought up Tozawa, Otis, possibly getting back together with Chad Gable. Do you think that that's a match on the horizon now? Do you think that's a SummerSlam worthy tag team championship match? Would be Alpha Academy versus the Vision, with maybe Chad Gable in. So Logan's obviously going to still be out. Logan in the Vision's corner, Chad Gable trying to still earn back Otis and Tozawa's respect and trust in their corner. Do you think that would be worthy of SummerSlam?
Maybe. To me, it's I don't have the, I'm trying to think of, I want to phrase this the best way I can. I don't think, like, especially Tozawa has that star power to be on this star-studded SummerSlam. Not that he's not great, not that I enjoy him, on Raw, but when we're having a 2-night SummerSlam and we have these WrestleMania-esque matches, that it doesn't fit the card for me, right? That to me is gonna be like a lull. Like, not to like crap on when I went to WrestleMania 40, when we had what was Cross's faction called?
Oh my God.
I'm forgetting, but it was them.
Ellering and
it was them versus, what was it, like Bobby, like the
and Akeem and whatever their names are.
Yeah, and I think they fought the
Testament. There you go.
The Testament. Thank you.
There you go, Stussy.
And I think that was them versus the Hurt Business.
Yes,
and it was just like a
with Bubba Ray Dudley.
It was just like I get you wanted them to have this match on the card, but like this is not nowhere near what's happening tonight. And that to me is a shame, right? When I think of WrestleMania, when I think of this SummerSlam, this 2-night SummerSlam, I want star-studded performances. I want larger-than-life matches, and that's what we're getting. So I don't think, in my eyes, that would be a good use case. I'd rather see, I would probably rather see the Street Profits versus the Vision again. They put on a great match together. It's 1-1 at this point between the two of them. Why not have the rubber match for them? Maybe have a actual street fight or a ladder match, because to me that's what I would want to see at SummerSlam for the World Tag Titles.
And I'm with you. I just, after seeing the Chad Gable apology in the middle of the ring, Maxxine being the one that really stepped in front, said no, like whatever, we don't accept your apology, and now her pretty much just up and leaving. I mean, I hope we're gonna eventually get something between her and Otis and Tozawa. So for me, it's kind of like that just can't go away.
Yeah.
So something's going to have to happen there, and I'm just curious as to what it's going to be, because I would think that there's going to be some sort of match. They're not just going to say, all right, just go off with them. So I don't think we have a PLE coming up other than SummerSlam. So unless they just get it over with on our Monday Night Raw, I guess they could do that.
But I could see the first stop in that being against the Creed brothers, because we haven't seen the Creeds since, or the Credos since AAA, Noche de Los Grandes. And so I can still see that Creed feud happening still. I can see that still, because we don't have an end result for the Creed brothers and Chad Gable. We don't know their thoughts on Chad Gable going through this apology tour. Maybe they jump Chad Gable, and that's when the Alpha Academy comes in, and you have his two teams kind of clashing head to head. So to me, that's the next route if they were to bring Chad or accept Chad back as a friendship. And then Lamper King over here. Enough with this idea of everyone needs to be on the show. Story has to be Gable versus Penta. Dude, I would love that match. They would put on a freaking clinic at SummerSlam. That's the match that I would watch at SummerSlam. Penta, Chad Gable, Intercontinental Championship. Isn't there an Intercontinental Championship Battle Royale next week, or number one next week? I think Chad's in it, right? I think he is in it.
I believe so. I know Joe Hendry's in it. I know Joe Hendry's in it. While you're trying to look that up, yeah, I agree with Lamper. It's just maybe like it comes to the point where Penta finally like goes to Gable and is like, all right, like the respect is there. I know you disrespected Lucha Libre, but the respect's there. One-on-one SummerSlam. I mean, they would tear the house down. You got to get to the story, and I'm sure they can get there, obviously. But with the number one contendership battle royal, I don't know if he's going to win. I don't know if Chad Gable is going to win it. He should. They're trying to build him up with a new song, with the clapping and all that stuff. Chad Gable just deserves so much, man. He just deserves so much. And with Penta being a face champion right now, I just don't know if the Intercontinental Championship is it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's next for him until someone else dethrones Penta.
Yeah, sorry. It looks like I'm looking into the sun because my screen is usually blacked out. I'm not near the sun. I'm not on Mercury. I'm not on Venus. I am in my house. The sun is not collapsing on me. I can't find it. I'm trying to. They did show a graphic of the number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. It says there's a gauntlet. It doesn't say who's in it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Rusev, Ethan Page, Dragon Lee, Chad Gable. That's what I'm assuming is going to be happening for the Intercontinental Championship next week, possibly.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Does this make sense? Or is this an old one? I see a graphic that says Dragunov, Dragon Lee, and Dirty Dom.
Definitely not Dragunov because he's not back yet.
Yeah, so I think that's old. But I definitely can see Chad Gable winning the number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. And that's why I don't think that they're not going to unite.
I found it. It's you got Dragon Lee, Chad Gable, Joe Hendry, Javon Evans, Dom, Dirty Dom, Ethan Page, and Rusev.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Next Monday, number 1 contenders gauntlet match, Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, and to me, Chad Gable is probably a shoo-in at this point, unless they want a heel to face off against Penta if they're going to lead that into SummerSlam. And then Lamper, El Grande started with Gable not being able to best Penta, 100%. I think that writes itself as well. He went to AAA because of Penta. Story closes with Gable winning the IC title. Yeah, and it's full circle moments, right? Long-term storytelling. Triple H says it's what we do. We do what we do. What we do is what we do. We do. I don't know. I forget what he says. Something like that. It's not too far off from what I just said. Sussy Six said every couple of months somebody's new gimmick is that they hate Lucha Libre. Started with Chad, then the Vision, and now Ethan and Rusev. Yeah, and that's kind of a bummer that they're rehashing that over and over again. At some point, like, why can't it just be about the wrestler and not about Lucha Libre itself? Lambert King said, can I say one of the best stories in wrestling, Jada and being able to conquer her demons to beat Natty. Yeah, I mean, I love Jada Parker. I love that she is getting in on NXT. We'll get a little later. She's getting in Natty's face after, I think it's after she lost the title match against Kendall Gray. But Jada, she needs a story. She's awesome. And it feels like Kali Armstrong is picking up where Jada left off. And now we have a Jada who is who was unsure of herself, but now seems ready to take out Natty and move on. And what's the moving on for her? I don't know. And I hope it's the NXT Women's Championship, at least get a match or something. Lampert said WWE have to address Rhea and the women's title instead of pretending Rhea doesn't exist. And that's the problem. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent with Lampert right now.
You're good.
But that's the problem especially with Raw. I mean, SmackDown going 2 hours. There is going to be champions left off that card. Rhea Ripley. I don't think they'll ever leave off the WWE champion, CM Punk at this point, but the US champion, the women's US champion, the WWE tag titles, like, they're going to not have someone notice. And we saw it with Liv, right? Liv Morgan, I don't think she's defended the championship since she won it at WrestleMania. And they had to throw her into the King of the Ring tournament or Queen of the Ring tournament because we can't have Liv not do something. And she's not going to defend the title because we have our eyes set for something with her. And now it's against Io Sky. But it's crazy that they're kind of like leaving these main champions out there to dry. And we talk about, especially us, how the women are the workhorses in WWE. And now it seems like they're, pulling back they're hitting the brake a little bit. It seems like they're pulling some steam off and taking time away from them when they should not be. Look how over Rhea Ripley is. Look how badly people want Liv Morgan to lose because she's the best women's world champion of all time. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but it's crazy that they have the star power, the women's star power that they have, and they're not getting title defenses. They're kind of getting forgotten about, and that to me is pretty crazy.
So with SmackDown and with Rhea clearly is still injured. She's been injured for a while now. With SmackDown going back to 2 hours, I feel like WWE is trying to give Rhea as much time possible before having to go to a relinquishing of the title, because we've seen Rhea relinquish the women's championship before. Now, I think that they're trying to, with SmackDown, once again, 2 hours, they're trying to solely focus on, you have Charlotte, Alexa, you have Chelsea, Tiffany, you have Fatal Influence, you have Jade and her groupies. So I think what they're trying to do is trying to get by right now with building up those feuds between all those different women. And then hopefully Rhea will eventually return. But people are realizing Rhea is not there. She's not defending that title. And so people are now starting to question. And I think WWE is going to have to answer soon, because you can only keep your champion out in the dark for however long. You could try to make it pretend like it's not happening and she's not hurt, but when in reality, everyone knows what's going on. So I soon, yeah, I mean, SummerSlam is coming up, so we got to figure something out.
Yeah, I get frustrated because, you know, back in the old days, the Vince's era, I'll call it, if someone got hurt and they were the champion, you're dropping that championship, or you're getting beat off air and you're getting, you know, relinquished. You're going to get beat quick in a match, so that way you're not getting more injured. And I think that's important, especially with how much time people are given to be on air and to showcase themselves. And we're leaving people out there that could be these champions. So when, you know, I love Dom as Intercontinental Champion, but when he was hurt and he was AAA Mega Championship, like, when was the last time he defended the AAA Mega Championship? Like, and that's not because he's hurt, but also like, why are we keeping these champions and not using them? And I feel like he should be a staple on AAA, but he's not. He's kind of just coasting by, holding the title, showing it off on Raw. And to me, you know, there's a lot of women on SmackDown that could take the reins from Rhea Ripley. You just said a bunch of names. How crazy would it be if Jacy Jayne just took over and Fatal Influence was running things on SmackDown? That's a huge opportunity to showcase your younger talent. I mean, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair. You can have Jade come back and take the title and hold it hostage for a bit. It's just, to me, not having the champion, especially the main champion on SmackDown for the women, not there is crazy. And I know, you know, we've come for a time where Mr. Kennedy dropped Money in the Bank because he hurt himself and he thought he was going to be gone for a few months, and he was out for, I think, 2 weeks. Right? Yeah. They were scared and they didn't want the Money in the Bank to be not looming around, and they made him take it away just to not be that injured. And I think they need to go that route. And, you know, it's unfortunate this happens, and it's just like football, right? With the preseason matches, they don't have as many anymore. They don't even do in practice tackle anymore. They just, I think they're half pads, half not. Sometimes they're not. And when you're not going full force in gear, you're more likely to get hurt when you're not practicing that way. And, you know, with the lack of house shows that they don't do as much anymore, they're not, the main wrestlers aren't wrestling on the cards of Raw or SmackDown anymore. They're mostly doing segments. So when they get in the ring, they're not ready. You know, they might be practicing or they might be stretching, but they don't have access to the Performance Center all week. They're traveling, so they can't get reps in the ring. And the reps they would take is these house shows and Raw and SmackDown. And to take these guys off the matches to try and have some longevity, I think is backfiring. And I think we're seeing it. But, you know, I get wanting your people healthy. And, you know, like I said, we see it in the NFL. But look at the injuries. Look how often it happens. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's crazy that we don't move on to have other people have the chances when there's injuries.
What you just said, Ty, I agree with everything 100%, but it's like a merry-go-round, bro. We had this conversation on the build up to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We said, why has this felt so lackluster? Because these main superstars that are in these matches at WrestleMania, they're not fighting weekly. They're having these segments, like you just said, they're getting broken up, right? They start rumbling, they start brawling, and then in 5 seconds, everyone's out there and they're clearing house. It sucks. And I want to see these people fighting weekly. And listen, the women are fighting every week on SmackDown. Props to them. Love it. I want to see more. Another thing, just to go back to the Rhea thing, I think that they must be very, I don't want to say confident, but they must have a good feeling that Rhea will be cleared by SummerSlam. If they knew she wasn't, you got to rip that title off. Because that title has to be defended at SummerSlam, right? We're trying to build up a show that is better than WrestleMania, and now you're going to leave off one of the women's heavyweight championships? You can't do that. So the good news is I'm thinking they think that Rhea will be fine. She'll be good in a few weeks. We might see her return in a week or two and then start building up to that feud for SummerSlam. But if not, you got to take that title off of Rhea. She'll get it back. Don't worry. She'll probably get it back in 3 months. Give it back to her at the Rumble or Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
But if you know she's not able to go, for SummerSlam, you got to take that title off her. You got to give it to someone else. Make it a battle royal, like I think Lamper said in the chat. Make it a battle royal. Let all the women show out. Make that a huge match at SummerSlam. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But if she can't go, man, you got to take the title off.
Lambert King said, I just checked. She's not scheduled for SmackDown for the next 2 shows, which is crazy. We got the wrestling junkies in the chat. What up? What up? What up? And Slicey6 said, it's basically like if boxing and UFC had weekly press conferences. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, they let's look at NXT, right? Their main wrestlers wrestle weekly.
Yep.
They are on the card. They are wrestling. They're not just in segments. They are in some segments, but they also are in a segment and in a match. They do double duty in these cases. And that's why I think I resonate with NXT so much, because the characters that are the main characters on NXT are showcased weekly. So when they are on their PLEs, there's momentum, there's stride, this guy's been working his butt off, and so has this one, and this is going to be an insane match. And, they've had these, moments together fighting and wrestling, but this is the icing on the cake for the title. Like, I just don't understand why they don't take the old recipe that they've seen in the Attitude Era, they've seen in the PG era, what we've seen in NXT, and even with AEW, their wrestlers wrestle weekly and sometimes bi-weekly on Collision. Sometimes they do double duty and do Dynamite and Collision. So like I said, I understand wanting to protect your main talent, but how long do you just play the protect game? That's not going to get anywhere. Sure, you'll save them for the big money moments, but don't you want people to spend money to go to Raw? How many people have complained about prices on Raw? But if I knew that CM Punk was going to be challenging for the WWE Championship against Sami Zayn in Chicago, I mean, the crowd probably already had a feeling. The place erupted. It was freaking packed, right? So if we have these matches weekly, and it doesn't have to be for the championship, you're going to pack out the arenas at that point. People will pay that money to see those matches, right? If I saw, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes on a Raw, like, people be like, holy shit, the third match is happening on a Monday Night Raw. I gotta be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's corporate, and I understand because I live in the corporate world, and I understand why people at the top want to do what people at the top want to do. But sometimes, especially in professional wrestling, when your bread and butter is your top stars, you gotta let them wrestle, man. I mean, look what Seth Rollins and Montez Ford did. I mean, letting Seth Rollins wrestle on a Monday night against someone as talented as Montez Ford, it was freaking beautiful.
It is when it's given the opportunity, it's spectacular. But it's all assets. Everyone's an asset. Everyone's a number. I work in the corporate world too. That's their sole focus, is making sure that they can TKO. Spoiler alert. I don't know if anyone agrees or disagrees, but TKO will sell WWE.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to sell them at make sure that they're making money. WWE is an investment for them. They're not in the long game of WWE. At least that's my opinion. TKO wants to make money, and that's it. Everyone's an asset. And that's why you see these wrestlers cutting back, or they're not cutting back. They're being told to cut back because injuries happen. It's physical. That's what happens in professional wrestling. Unfortunately, injuries are the negative of it, and that's what they're trying to do. It sucks. But going back to just NXT, I don't know if you want to just jump into NXT.
Yeah.
But with NXT, man, they're just showing out. They're nonstop. It's incredible what you can see when they have the reps. The reps are everything. And I can't believe we're having this conversation again, because we literally had this conversation a few months ago.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. I mean, listen, you watched that match, that main event of NXT last night. Kendall Gray, Natty, the low-key legend. Unbelievable. If no one believes in Kendall Gray, then I don't know what to tell you. She is the future of WWE. 1000%.
Oh, easily. I mean, it's like she's like her blood is professional wrestling. And real quick, Celeste said, talking about, you know, the reps and wrestling, especially if your top guys are 40 plus, 100%. I'm 35 now. I already feel my body failing on me. I got to get back to the gym because I've been trying to figure out how to be a dad and also work full time and be a part of the podcast. And somehow, you know, I don't know. I'm just, it's crazy. But, and Celeste 6 said Kendall and Natty with the real graps. Yeah. I mean, freaking wrestling to a T right there. And then Lamper said Layla versus Rain versus Izzy. Yeah. I mean, it's just the talent they have on the show that they allow to do what they do is amazing. And I love that we have this triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship. It's Kalani Jordynne, Lola Vice, and Kali Armstrong, and that's going to be a banger. And I would love for Kalani to come out on top with this one. I said it last week. I want Kalani to be. I know Natty was the one to be first, but I want Kalani to be that main feud to then head into for Kalani to, for Kendall to head into, and they will put on a great feud, a clinic in the ring, and it just shows too, like, Natty, especially in the ring, is super talented, and I know, you know, full like with the promo skills, she's still, you know, she's in the middle for me, but it just shows that she should be showcased more. And I always felt like they always put her on the back burner when she should have been on the forefront. You know, she's helping build this new era of women wrestlers and even male wrestlers in the dungeon. And so I think she needs more respect on her name. And I'm glad that she's getting time on NXT. I'm glad that she's she's with why am I blanking on their names?
You have Carmen Petrovic. You have Nikita Lyons.
Yep. And Petrovic just, I think who just became the number one contender for the North American Championship? Was it Petrovic?
No, that was Layla Diggs.
Layla Diggs, thank you. Layla Diggs. And she's part of the Natty group, isn't she?
I don't think
No? Okay,
so.
sorry. I thought for some reason I thought she was.
But I wanted to go to your woman, Jada Parker. She is going to come out in the next few weeks looking like an even bigger star than she is because of this segment and this feud that she is having with the low-key legend Natty. You don't think that Natty like handpicked Jada backstage? Like she's like, all right, you're going to do a stint down in NXT as a low-key legend. She probably handpicked Jada and said, I'm going to bring you to the top because I've seen what you've done. And this is only going to benefit Jada. When this is all said and done, Jada, we can scroll back up. Someone said Jada can't. There you go. Can I say one of the best stories in wrestling? This is Lamper on YouTube. Jada and being able to conquer her demons to beat Natty. Guess what? This is going to end up with Jada beating Natty, Natty showing her respect to Jada. And who is the one woman that everyone wants respect from in WWE? That would be Natty Neidhart. Yeah. Natty is that damn good. She is that much of a, she calls herself the low key legend, but she is a high key legend. So it's going to be, when that moment does happen, it's going to be paid off in tenfolds. And then I just wanted to real quick, Lamper on YouTube, go back real quick. Did you guys see Santana's tweet and opinion? I did see the tweet. It said 7/15/2026 or something like that. So it's a week from today. People are saying, oh, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. I don't see Santana going back to AEW, especially in Boston. So I'm not going to look too much into it. I think that's when his contract is up with TNA, and then we can probably expect him in either NXT or the main roster, maybe a week, 2-3 weeks after that. I think all that is the date that his contract with TNA ends, and he'll be a free agent, which I think it's the worst kept secret in the world. He'll end up in WWE.
Yeah. And we spoke about this numerous times. WWE, especially with this partnership, they have their eyes on what they want. They know what they want to bring over, and they're letting those superstars and those people kind of build themselves up and get themselves ready for their debut in WWE, whether it's with the same character or a version of that character. Celeste 6 said, I'd rather see him in NXT. Yeah, I think he'd fit very well in NXT off the get-go. I think he's someone who can spend a year and a half, maybe 2 years in NXT before going up to the main roster. He's got it. You know, he has the experience, he has the talent, he has the promo skills, he has the in-ring ability. I mean, Santana has it all, in my opinion. So I would love to see him wrestle with the best on NXT and then, you know, make his main roster debut, because he's someone, unfortunately, I think that if he goes to the main roster right away, he'll just lose himself in the fold of things. And I don't want that for Santana.
Yeah, we always see debuts around SummerSlam time, right? There's a lot of people in the fold for WWE right now.
Yeah.
We know Big Cass, Big Bill over in AEW. His contract is coming up soon. We know that it's more likely than not that Enzo and Big Cass are going to come back to WWE as a tag team again. We're going to get Enzo and Cass. We can talk about the Enzo wigs all we want. But there's other names that are out there that are coming in. Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful reported that WWE has significant interest in Zilla. Obviously, if he's not already signed. Richard Holiday is another huge name, which I thought TNA should have grabbed. I think Richard Holiday would be the perfect acquisition for TNA and what TNA is trying to do. It just helps that, WWE jumped on it. I know Richard Holiday was at their tryouts, I believe, a few months ago, and he's a huge get if and when that contract gets signed. And I think we're going to see some names from NXT get called up to SummerSlam soon, like your girl Kalani. I don't think I see Kalani winning. She's calling her shot for the NXT Women's Championship, but I think that's a swan song. Tatum Paxley, I think it's a swan song. We're going to see them get called up to the main roster. There's going to be several others. There's people coming in constantly, and NXT is just the revolving door that just keeps building. And yeah, I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, real quick, Slessy6 said about Santana, he can be the face of the show and carry the brand 1,000%. He'd be awesome. He's like another Tony D'Angelo who would be great to, help build the younger generation up for a year or two as the champion. I want to talk about this, what Lambert King said real quick. The one guy I feel NXT is forcing to use is Keanu Carter. I agree. It's weird that they started him off hot and then they cooled him down, and now I feel like they're trying to make him hot again. It's like this weird roller coaster ride with Keanu that I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm sold. I know he's a monster. But like to have the little the slow period he just had, it kind of like it takes away from him being a monster again. It's like, all right, you're mean again until how long?
You need to just. I'm with you. I'm kind of like skeptical on what the hell's going on with him right now. I agree with it was Lamper that said like there feels like he's being forced to be out there because he is such an attraction. I kind of just want to trust the process and see where it ends up. But right now, I'm not feeling great about the creative direction of Keanu Carter. I'm completely with you, dude. 1,000%.
Lamper says, any chance Jack Perry should know?
I know that everything's out there that he hasn't signed his contract yet, and his contract's going to be up soon. I don't see that happening unless him and Punk bury grudges and gripes and whatever else they got to bury 6 feet deep. I don't see that happening. So if anything, I think Jack Perry would go over to New Japan. I think he would be phenomenal in New Japan. Obviously, when he was a scapegoat, he kind of already did a little stint over in New Japan. I think I could see him going back there, but
the one thing that stuck out to me though was Jack Perry did make a tweet about CM Punk after he won the championship this past Monday. They showed a bunch of superstars who had some kind of backlash towards Punk winning the title, like Seth, like Drew McIntyre. But Jack Perry was one of those people taking a shot at CM Punk. Is that because he's coming over to maybe start a feud? We've seen CM Punk can, when push comes to shove, he can work with the people that maybe he doesn't like and they don't like him back. But he's willing to do what he does. He's happy at WWE. So who knows? Maybe there is a chance that a Jack Perry could maybe make that fold into WWE.
I mean, money's money, right? You're going to make it work regardless. You're getting paid a shit ton of money to go out there and put grudges aside, gripes aside. I mean, we saw it with Seth and Punk, right? Did they actually hate each other? Yes, no. Is it kayfabe? Who knows? But you're right. If WWE and TKO goes to CM Punk saying, we're bringing this guy in and we're making you work with him, I'm sure they'll figure it out, right? You don't have to love everyone that you're wrestling. So I'm sure that they'd be professional enough to figure it out. But I personally don't see it happening. But hey, they've been surprising us. Who the hell knows? Then before we wrap up, we'll just go through these comments again on YouTube. We got Lamper on YouTube, Kalani being added to Jade's group.
Yes, please. I think she needs to take the spot. I think they need to have I'm blanking on their names. Why I say their name.
BFAB and Michin.
Thank you, BFAB and Michin. I think they need to get tossed to the curb. No disrespect to them, but I feel like Kalani and then another maybe NXT woman to come up would be a great addition for Jade, because she needs talent next to her that can work at the level that she's playing at, and Kalani is one of those wrestlers who can do that. So I completely agree.
Stussy on YouTube going to be sad seeing Tatum go. Tatum's been great in NXT, but there's just so many opportunities on the main roster. Like, imagine her and Chelsea interacting together. Like, Chelsea is now having this whole thing with Tiffany Stratton. Imagine all of a sudden Tatum shows up and now it's Tatum trying to be friends with Chelsea and Tiffany Stratton. I would absolutely eat that up, because Chelsea's a face now. So is Tiffany. So, I mean, why not bring her in and try to show her whatever? I feel like that would just be eaten up. I think that would be great. And then last but not least, we have Lamper on YouTube. I still think the best fit for WWE from AEW is Britt Baker. Ty, how long have we been discussing
Guantanamo Bay, baby? That's where she resides.
Guantanamo Bay is an absolute real thing, and it's unfortunate because she's just stuck doing DraftKings ads on.
Imagine getting paid media to do nothing.
It's great. I mean,
Tony, hit me up.
Yeah,
give me a superstar contract. I'll sit on this podcast. I'll put more money into it. I can help Justin edit more, and I'll take an AEW contract, and I'll sit here for 5 years and just collect that money and just have fun. So, Tony, if you need someone else to pay, I'm your guy.
With that said, let's ring that bell, because this in-count episode is over. Thank you all so much for joining us. Little surprise here. I just got the email, so I just wanted to show this. Obviously, I always show the QR code to our merch shop, the official Turnbuckle merch shop. Now, a few more shirts have been approved, so there's not just 3 shirts on this website anymore. Right now, I'm going to show you guys right here.
Yeah, let's go.
Some Wrestle Junkies shirts. Let me see if I could do this. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Just take it full screen. Just take it. Just blind. Get rid of us.
Get rid of us.
Yeah.
Let me. This is great podcasting. This is fantastic podcasting. We're gonna go here. And then we're gonna go here.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go. So now we have, obviously, the Wrestle Junkies are a part of Turnbuckle. I had to do some work on their shirts to get them approved, but we have a bunch of cool Wrestle Junkie shirts. And then Matt, who wasn't here tonight, requested this little shirt. The 2 words 10 count shirt is now approved and now live on ProWrestlingTees.com. It's a little play. It's a little play on that DX shirt. There's Ty in his Punk shirt. There I am. My tattoo's on the wrong arm, but that's all right.
Are our asses out in the back of the shirt? That's all I
No. It's a PG friendly shirt, unfortunately. And then we obviously have the old school Raw logo for the 10 count podcast. We just have a bunch of awesome things that are here and coming to this website. So I'm going to leave the QR code right now. top right-hand corner, you have the Pro Wrestling Tees QR code. Go buy a shirt, go support Turnbuckle, go support us, go support the Wrestling Junkies. We would be New Drip, right? That's absolutely right, Stussy. New Drip is 100% true. Let's go back here and let's go back here, and we are fixed. Wow, that was something. Now, top right corner, you have the QR code to the Turnbuckle Discord. Go scan that QR code. Come join our Discord channel. It is the best Discord channel around. And then we also have Turnbuckle Gold, our Patreon, $5 a month gets you all the early rundowns, Raw, SmackDown, PLEs, and whatever news comes to our team. We put it out there for $5 a month. It's well worth it. The guys are working hard. And then obviously, last but not least, we have the QR code to sign up for Buzzer. All sports, no noise. It is the fastest rising sports media app out there right now. We are live there currently right now on buzzer.com. So go check it out as well. But thank you all once again so much for joining us tonight. I have to buy the New Drip. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to buy it. So we're gonna have to pay ourselves, Ty, our little kickback that we get. But yes, thank you all so much for joining us. Enjoy the weekend. We will be back here on Sunday. I don't think that I have anything going on, so we should be able to figure out a time to get the quick count going for a little bit. Make sure you go follow Turnbuckle at Official Turnbuckle on X. Go follow Buzzer at Buzzer Official. Go follow Ty at TLP_maximum. Go give us a follow and a subscribe on YouTube. That is the most important. Subscribe on YouTube. Leave us comments. Give us some thumbs up for the algorithm at the 10 Count Pod on all socials. No thumbs down. No thumbs down. I actually wanted to bring it up. I made another playlist called the Hot Tag. So if you are not willing to sit through an hour episode, I have been clipping now little segments here and there, 6 to 10 minute segments, and putting those out there. So if you want a quick hitter, just like CVV clips, we're trying to match the GOAT. We want to try to follow in the GOAT's footsteps. So we now have the Hot Tag there, and you can follow me at JStar. I removed the 02 on X. I am now at JStar. I got the account. So we are at JStar on X. And until Sunday, enjoy tonight. Does Kenny win? Does MJF win?
Oh, I can't wait.
Who the hell knows? We're going to find out tonight. Enjoy Dynamite. Enjoy the rest of your week. And enjoy the weekend. We'll see you back here on Sunday. Until then, it is Ty. It is JStar. And we are out.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.